All right, so many of you have been wondering, if you look at our episodes, that we went from 8 to 10 to 11, and you would think today we're going to be recording our 12th podcast. We're not. We're actually going to be doing our Noine podcast today. We specifically skipped episode 9 for these guys that we're visiting here today. So without further ado, this is today's podcast number 9.
The Capital Brew Podcast with 20 North Dave and Nick Lee. What's brewing in the 518?
All right, Dave. We've been here before. We stopped by briefly.
Yep, I found it again.
Yeah, you found it.
Tricky.
Yeah.
We'll get to that.
Actually, we will get to that because I think I may have some inside information that you might tell me not to put in this podcast. But I think I've stumbled upon some breaking news that not a lot of people know about this particular brewery known as Fidens.
I'm also in the dark about this. So
yeah,
same here.
Yeah,
actually you are. So what ended up happening is we tried rescheduling a podcast for this Thursday, but I couldn't make it happen, and went ahead and did it. And I'm doing it as a bonus podcast because I'm going to be gone for a few weeks. So I figured, I'll do it as a bonus. It's not a full-fledged podcast, but it's somebody who works very closely with this brewery, who helped bring Other Half here, who, by the way, says hello, and you've probably seen him since I've
And you've also not mentioned the name of this brewery yet.
I did, Fidens.
I don't think so.
I did.
Did you?
I did, for sure. But you started to say something as I was saying.
I just cut you off?
Yeah.
Like my usual. Okay, that's cool. Well, in that case, that's fine.
So, yeah, Fidens, I met with Nuzzy earlier. Earlier or late last week, and he told me that, and I might misunderstood him, but you guys may have broken ground on a new brewery, or maybe when he said,
"Cat's out of the bag, everyone."
Well, we can always delete this if we're told.
I don't think it necessarily needs to be deleted. I mean, we're exploring what our options are as far as having a slightly larger facility based on a handful of reasons, but yeah, I mean, we've officially applied with the village to go in front of the board, so it has become public record of us basically going up and seeing if a larger facility still within the village of Colony is in the cards.
Awesome.
So we're hoping so, but it's just really at this point a matter of getting through the politics of it and the logistics of making it happen.
Well, awesome. Good for you. I mean,
all right, before you keep going, who are we welcoming on the show today other than just Fidens?
All right, that's true. We've got Mike, who is the owner.
One of them.
Yes. We've got Steve, who is the head brewer, and we've got Alan, who is their marketing guy. Head of marketing, I would say, right?
Mike and I do the marketing together.
Okay, all right. When you do talk, I'll have you get up a little bit closer on the microphone. You want to hold that about a fist distance away from you.
And Steve's our head brewer and also an owner. And Tim, our third owner, is not here today.
Who is your finance guy?
He is our finance guy. Yeah, he's the number cruncher.
All right.
And Alan also is my right-hand man in the back. Like, this guy helps me out every brew day, cleaning. So Alan does everything.
Yeah, we got here. And I've seen your Instagram. You've done a great job with the photos and their Instagram and Facebook. So
thank you.
Yeah.
We had to have Alan here today because he does really represent what Fidens has become since we've opened the doors. And he was there actually the day we opened the door. He graciously volunteered to bring his camera and shoot the photos for us. And once we met him, we really couldn't let him go and couldn't be happier about it. He is instrumental with pretty much every piece of what this brewery does. Alan has his hands in it, and where he's immensely valuable to Steve in production and working in the brewery, and he is my right-hand man on everything we do. We collaborate and work together, and it's a great relationship, so we're pumped to have Alan here with us.
Awesome. And like I said, I've seen you started a hashtag for Fidens, right? Or no, for local beer.
Capital Region Beer Collective.
All right, so yeah, if you go on to your Instagram, look up the hashtag, what is it again, Capital District Beer Collective?
Capital Region Beer Collective.
Beer Collective, and start following that hashtag. Right, Dave?
Absolutely.
Do you even, Graham, bro?
What now?
Do you use social medias?
Is this a trick question?
No.
No.
We already know the answer to that.
Yes. The answer is no.
All right, but even before we get into this podcast, I got a quick question, because I almost didn't make it here today. I hopped in the car.
Traffic?
No, not even close. had my girlfriend borrow my car. Now, I'm pretty sure when I gave her the car, it had a little over a quarter tank of gas in it. And she said to me, it's running a little low on gas. I was like, no big deal. I'll get the gas, after, the podcast. I got in the car, and it said 22 miles left of gas to here.
Just took a road trip.
Yeah, I guess so.
Sounds like it.
My question is, if you borrow someone's car, and for me, if it's like less than a half a tank, I just top it off. If it's more than a half a tank, I really don't touch it. But if I'm borrowing someone's car and it's got less than a half a tank, what do you do?
I don't know. I frankly can't remember the last time I borrowed someone's car.
Sure.
It could have been when I was a lot younger and been like, dude, I don't have any money.
You said this was wife, girlfriend?
This is my girlfriend.
You just got to eat that, man.
Yeah, I did. I will. Yeah, I do.
You just got to eat
every time. If I borrow her car has no gas in it. Never does she put. I don't think she puts gas in a car. Unless she has to, and she only does just enough to get out of. Just enough to get it out of the red. I don't. Often she's been like, I've gotten gas, but she doesn't fill it up. I don't understand. She's like, well, I'm not going that far. Like, well, you eventually will. Is it guys will top off cars, girls don't? Is that what's?
I don't know.
All right.
I'm gonna stay out of that one, but I will say you got some really inexpensive gas near your spot. That new gas station that opened up.
Where over on Erie Boulevard.
Yeah,
by
it's like the Whole Foods of gas stations.
Yes, and I saw that. I don't know.
It's a low twos.
It's got to be I'm guessing it's a gimmick to attract business. Yeah. You know who I feel bad for? The country farms there.
Down the road,
It's the Cumberland knockoff. Or what you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah. Right next to Moretz.
Right on the other side of Moretz, I'm like, I think they have to lower their prices just to compete.
Yeah.
And I feel bad because it's kind of like, the big, corporation coming in and squashing the, the little guy. And, I feel, I try to, I don't know if the word is patronize, but, go to their place because I know it's tough
Small
now
local
to have,
business.
to have somebody, the big guys just walk right in and, I mean,
Fresh Market or something.
And the gas was significantly lower. Like, it wasn't like, we're going to cut 3 cents off. It was like 15 cents or 20 cents a gallon at first.
Wow.
Like, the Rockefellers moved in. You know what I mean?
Slowly
Starting
moving
to strangle everybody.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it is. But, hey, everybody, if you want cheap gas, head on over to Erie Boulevard.
Fresh Market or whatever it is. Next to Moretz.
Take advantage of the competition.
All right, Dave. So you wanna start off the series of questions for these guys?
I guess maybe. What do you think? We're starting off with. I'm going to let you guys handle this. We're starting off with a pale ale. Okay. Now, when we usually do our questions, I want to say we have a particular order.
Oh yeah.
Of who has what's coming out new, what's a favorite, what's real popular, but. This is pretty much it right now. These are our options.
Yeah, for sure.
So we're just going to stick to the the basics and maybe have them, describe each one, what it came from, and stuff like that.
So for those who don't know, and if you follow us on Instagram, you've seen that I've been here before. I tried to actually do a video with Mike. They did a release with the Other Half here where they were selling some of the cans from Other Half Brewing, which is out of New York, correct?
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah. So you had a can release. Go ahead.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
And when I got here, they were open from 3 o'clock in the afternoon till 7 o'clock at night, 4 hours. I got here at 3:40. Thought I was going to get here early. They were already sold out.
I don't know how anybody found it.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not like we're off the beaten path here. It's right off of Central Ave.
It is.
You get into this industrial park and it all looks the same. I'm like, is this some sort of sick joke? I'm like, I'm trying to get beer.
Yeah.
And like, I'm looking around. They're like, we dare you to find your place. I'm like, where am I supposed to look? You almost have to have a GPS thing just to find it.
I'm not gonna lie.
Otherwise, they're like some sick joke.
It does have
we'll dare these people to
Dexter
find our place.
Kill Room feel in this industrial park that we're back here in.
What is it?
Dexter, his Kill Room. No Dexter fans here.
What is it? Oh, you mean from the Netflix
TV show?
Netflix.
No, Netflix. He was a
HBO Showtime. All right.
Yeah, that
was a pretty good show.
Yeah, it was a great show.
Yeah, I remember when you came in. It was at that point. It felt like the mayhem was an hour in because I think it was, and I was definitely feeling it. But this was definitely Alan's brainchild of getting the whole idea of welcoming in one brewery into another brewery and trying to bring the capital region something a little unique in the sense of a release. And Alan was instrumental in getting that done and working his relationships. And the whole idea was, hey, let's try to bring another New York brewery that puts out some great stuff and sell it at the brewery's prices.
Yeah.
And it was very successful, as I think the line showed.
Oh my God,
and I think it was rather unique.
How fast did you sell out? Because I know for a fact I was here 40 minutes later and you were sold out after you opened.
It was about.
It was quick.
Yeah, it was about, I'd say, an hour, just to be fair.
All right, so you opened maybe a little early.
So how much is that? How much beer was that in let's say an hour?
I think it was upwards of 60 cases is what we ended,
Right.
what we could get our hands on for it, and what Alan negotiated.
Well, now we got another round 2, no? Coming up soon?
We do.
Yes. Yeah, Alan, you want to talk a little bit about it?
We've got significantly more beer coming from other half to do our round 2. I'm very excited about it. We just found out today, actually. It's always really cool when other half can come up and be in the area.
Oh, for sure.
To come out of our brewery is super special to me and everyone here.
Yeah, I was lucky enough to snake a can the last time we were here. Can or two.
Yeah, we had an in,
Yeah,
Take
before
advantage of it.
Yeah, before they actually started selling them, and
That's right.
Thank God, or else I would have never known what it tastes like.
Yeah,
so many
it
other
didn't
people.
last, right? That should be the wah wah wah. That's for you for getting
Forget it. Wherever
You
else
got to be on that, I mean, that you kept it way over
It's
there,
weird.
so
The board is
that's
on-
where it's going to be. You got to be on that.
The board is on my left side today.
Is it naturally on
It's
your
normally
right?
on my right.
Yeah, it would be on my left. See, and that's why I can't
You
get
can't
to
even
it.
reach it.
Nope. By the time I reached it, the joke's over.
Well, I thought about it, and I looked over really quick, and I was like, I have no idea which button's which. For some reason, it being on my left. If it's on my right, I do it without even looking.
Well, you're not button dexterous or whatever it is.
I am ambidextrous slightly, but not that much. All right. So one thing we did skip real quick because we've talked about it in the past, but I will release some of our conversation from that particular day. But I'll do that as a bonus podcast. But we haven't really discussed how Fidens came about yet. So
Do you want to do that before we talk about the beer?
For sure.
My little background.
we can do it. We can do a little bit in between. First, we'll talk about the concept. Then we'll try the beer, and then we'll talk a little bit about what it took to get this place up and running. And we'll try another beer. How's that sound?
Whatever you want to do.
All right. Mike, how did Fidens come to be? Let's start with the name.
Yeah, start with the name. I think it came to be was just being beer fans, and in particular the style of beer that we make. As ultimately how it started. It started as just really as a few guys that were into this and wanted to chase that dream. And Steve ultimately made it happen by deciding that he wanted to learn how to make it. So I think I'll let Steve handle how he kind of came about getting the beer where he wanted it to be comfortable and going professional, and where the name came from.
Well, real quick, if I remember correctly, you weren't that big of a craft beer guy. You were more of a Keystone, Budweiser.
Actually,
good. Yeah,
I mean,
that's
yes,
very true.
it is
Very
very
true.
true. I mean, this was a long time ago.
How'd you get into craft?
This guy right here. We went for a bike ride one day, and we came back, and I had SNS4 from Hill Farmstead.
Yeah.
And that's got to be, 2010 maybe?
Yeah, probably
Ish.
close to 2010, 2011.
And as soon as I had it, I was like, whoa. I've never had anything like that, and it just blew my mind. And then the following week, I said, Mike, we got to go back up there. Or we got to go up there.
Yeah.
And then I've just been hooked.
Well, he got me excited because he came to me and he said, man, I've had this heady topper, and this beer is really, really good. It's amazing. And it's like, wow, it's a Miller Lite drinker. This is a Keystone and High Lifes and enjoying those, which we still very much do. And I said, well, great. If you like that, I got some other varieties of this from Hill Farm, which was a favorite of ours, and my other partner Tim, who's not here. And Tim and I made a run up there and invited Steve over. And I remember him saying, wow, I really liked heady topper. I'm surprised you're saying there's something that I'm going to like just as much. And then really, I think was ultimately
That was it.
It was proven right.
And then my wallet was sad.
So, is it safe to assume that it was this newfound for craft beer that got you into brewing?
That, yes. The taste of the beer. But actually, what really hooked me was when we go on these beer trips and we wait in line, and we would just meet so many people, and everybody was cool. everybody was talking beer. Everybody had that same interest in common. Then you'd meet people, and they would say, "Well, you got to try this place out, or you got to go here, you got to go there."
Yeah.
And then we would. I mean, it's just that's what really grabbed me, along with the beer. But.
Yeah, we do 7 hours in a day just going to the top of Vermont and to fill our coolers with hundreds of dollars worth of beer. And really it was like the waking up at 6 a.m, getting going, and it was it's almost like that feeling of going to a concert or a festival or something like that. And then getting there and parking the car and it being freezing up there, and then just eyeballing the next person to see, okay, when are they going to get out in line? And then, all right, there's 3 out there. It's kind of like how I go to the DMV sometimes at the Schenectady DMV, and just, okay, there's 4 people in line, but I got in my car now. Yeah. And that's really what it was, and that was a lot of fun. Then you get in line and you just start talking and you start meeting and hearing some common interest, and then you get home and you drink the beer, and it's all encompasses into the whole experience.
Mm-hmm. Awesome. Yeah, it's funny. We've talked about it before on past podcasts that I actually will reach. I try. I should be doing a better job, but I try to plan out hiking trips next to breweries within 45 minutes of a brewery. And we're lucky because now that's very possible to sit there all summer long, go on a hike and go to a brewery and a new brewery every single weekend. I've actually called it Sunday Brew Day. So
I'm not sure we have a lot of hiking trails right here.
We have some in Rotterdam.
Central Ave.
No, Pine Bush Reserve right behind us.
All right, see,
you gotta watch out for the ticks, but it's definitely there.
But yeah, I definitely, you say I've been out to Hill Farmstead once too, and it's not close to here. No. It's a bit of a hike, and people were it wasn't like they happened to be in town and said, let's go up to the brewery.
It was a destination.
These people were going to there as their day's event, and it's amazing to see, especially that one, because it was so far out. I mean, it took, you're on 6 different dirt roads getting out there. I mean, it's not even paved. And when we got there, it was fairly early in the day. And we got our stuff and, hung out for a little bit. It was a beautiful day, and you're way up there, and it's gorgeous outside. We finally leave at maybe 12:30. I'm going to say that by the time we left, there was twice as many people there, and it was just a full parade of vehicles coming up the road to go there. Yeah. I just was amazed that literally all these people were doing were just coming out to get beer from this brewery.
Yeah. Just like what Heidi Topper back in the day, people would wait in line, and they weren't even guaranteed beer.
Yeah, that's true.
And same thing here at Fidens. Obviously, there's been times where they run out of beer before you can before you get your chance to get up to the door. So I suggest you start a podcast so you get your own beer.
See, look at that. All right, you're learning.
I'm learning my left hand technique. All right, so in case you're wondering, if we've got some new sound effects.
Awesome. I like it.
Noine.
So, all right, let's go back to, now you're hooked. Mm-hmm. You've started home brewing. Mm-hmm. How did it evolve from there?
What kind of apparatus or you were originally testing on?
So I didn't want to start with extract brewing. I wanted to just jump right into all grain. So we had a friend that's super talented. So what we did is we copied a system that we saw online that was about $6,000, and we didn't have the money for that. So we actually took old kegs and cut tops in them, soldered some valves in them with pumps, and basically made like a Herm system, a 15-gallon Herm system. And it worked great.
Good old Herm system.
I have no idea what that is. I'm standing here nodding my head. I'm like, yes, of course, the old Herm system. Everybody knows that. My God, I'm an idiot if I don't know that.
Through a tube to heat it up to keep your mash temperature.
Makes sense.
I mean, it was a really it was for a homebrew system for 2 guys making it. It came out great, and just started brewing, and basically, after that first batch, you really do get hooked because it's almost like the game of golf. Like you always want to do better.
Yes.
So after the first batch, because it's hard, it's not easy to make beer, especially when you're like your toughest critic.
So is it so much like golf that after every batch you sit there and you fantasize about how great the next batch is going to be and how you're going to make par and you're not going to lose any balls and you're not going to be or whatever.
Right. No. Yeah. I mean, that's just the way it is. And then And then when I really started taking this, really thinking about doing this, I probably read about every brewing book you can think of. I listened to every brewing podcast.
Nice.
With, head brewers such as like John Kimmich and Sean Hill. And I would just listen to what these guys said. I would listen to like 2-3 hour podcasts just to maybe pick up a little tip. And sometimes they would drop a little tip.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
And then the more and more I read, the more and more I understand, this is what they mean. This is what they mean. And then I will say the book that probably helped the most was a book by Greg Noonan. It was called Brewing Lager Beer.
Okay.
And that really helped me understand water,
okay.
Water is huge.
Yeah, and, obviously. It's like the number one ingredient.
Right. And then, it's because we don't do lagers here, but it has section on ales. But it was like that light bulb that went bing. And then my home brews just started getting better and better
awesome.
And better. Then Mike was in Charlotte at the time, and shipping beer down there, and got his wheels going about coming back and starting this. And Timmy would come to every brew. He would come to every brew. He would be my grain out guy. Yeah. It was fun. It was fun. And then things just started. We kind of said, let's go for it.
Awesome.
Yeah, I made the move to Charlotte to try to change directions in my career. And when I saw what Steve was doing here with his homebrew, I was like, instantly got like homesick. And then he sent me some of the beer, and I was like, wow, this is really good. And after that, I just knew I had to get back. And I have nothing to do with the beer and what
except drinking it.
Except for drinking it and promoting it and talking about it and obsessing about it. But yeah, I came back specifically to chase this stream. We didn't even have Tim involved at that point, and I was already quit my job, moved back, and said, let's start talking about this. And Tim and Steve and I hammered out this plan on the back of a piece of paper, and Tim said yes, and we really from there on it's happened over, I guess, a little over 2 years now, but it's been a whirlwind.
Awesome. If you could give new brewers out there just starting a little tip on how to up their game, what would it be?
Know your water.
Know your water.
Know your water. And read everything. Talk to other brewers, and just
listen to the Capital Brew podcast.
Right. Just a lot of brewers will talk to, and they will help you out.
Awesome.
But like I said, probably the number one tip is know your water.
Awesome. And we've learned that lagers obviously are one of the few beverages that you can make in the beer world that you can't hide.
Correct.
Everything's out there. Everything's laid out to see. You can't make mistakes. Can't hide your mistakes.
100%. That is correct.
All right, now moving on. We're ready.
Let's go to the beer right now.
I'm dying.
All right.
I'm chomping at the bit.
Well, I've been cheating. I've been sipping it.
Me too.
It's called. We're in the middle of working on getting our proper education.
The name of the beer is proper education, which is a pale ale, not an India pale ale.
No, it's very close.
It is close. It's very close. It's
to your Jasper and your Hatchet. It's like a kind of in between, and obviously it doesn't have. It's got a lighter alcohol content at 5.8, so you're not getting that late burn in it. But there's a very similarity between your.
Yeah, I mean we're not shy with the hops.
Yeah.
even with our pales.
Pale ales.
Yeah, we're not shy with the hops. Yeah. So.
You can tell they're related.
So what are we using in here? What basically went into this pale ale?
Pale ale. This is a very basic grain recipe. Just some 2-row, a little bit of oats, Citra, Mosaic, and I think
Galaxy.
No, it wasn't Galaxy. Simcoe. Citra, Mosaic, Simcoe.
You know what I'm thinking. I'm not going to say it, but I know you.
Don't.
I won't.
Don't do it. Let's just stick to the beer.
Well, you got to say it now. So.
Nope. Everybody's going to be in suspense.
Yes. Listen to other podcasts who can figure it out.
But I definitely do like it. In fact,
doesn't. Yeah, it tastes good. It's fine.
You're not getting that really crushing.
Yeah.
It's lighter in the fact that you're not getting even like that. Sometimes you get that alcoholic taste, that little burn. I don't know what it's called, a diethyl or something like that, where you get from like a higher India Pale Ale. I like that it's much mellower.
Yeah, I mean that was kind of the goal with this. Is just something that like everyday drinker.
Yeah.
You could have a couple of these at 5.8 and be fine.
Yeah.
You know.
No, it tastes more than fine. I didn't mean it to like, oh, this tastes fine.
Oh no, it's fine.
This I like I said, it reminds me, like I said, a lot of in between a Jasper and a Hatchet, like a little brother to one of those two. Or was it? Yeah, Hatchet's there's the one that I had the last time, I think, and that was
Hatchet was 6.
very sweet.
4.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right. With that being out of the way, did we ever talk about exactly how you got the name?
Oh no,
Fidens? I think we skipped over that.
We did skip over that. That actually came. Mike and I were at my kitchen table, and we were just searching names. We were just throwing names out, and then it was actually my wife that came out, and she's like, "What about Fidens?" And we were like, "Okay, like, what is Fidens?"
Yeah.
So she explained it. It's Latin for courage.
Okay.
And it kind of stuck with us because we were 3 guys that we all had other full-time jobs that we could have done, and we could have just stayed where we were going, but we didn't want to be, older and say, "Damn, I wish we would have went for it."
Yeah.
So it takes a little courage to, I'm 38, Mike's in his mid-30s, Timmy's 40-ish. I don't even know what Timmy. I don't even know what Timmy is, but it takes a little courage to open up something like this.
Oh yeah, for sure. And like just because you like it doesn't mean other people don't like it. That's one of my fears of everything I ever do. It's because a lot of like my close inner circle likes it doesn't mean everybody else is going to.
Yeah, and you're kind of putting yourself out there.
Yeah.
And it's like, no one likes to hear bad things.
Yeah.
About their product or what they do.
For sure.
I mean, even that other half release got us, like, get you in some trouble. Like, because you try to make everybody happy, and you open yourself up a little bit in a lot of ways.
It was 2 days later, too, not to change the subject. 2 days later, my girlfriend's big into stouts, and you guys released a stout.
Walter, yeah.
And we rushed down here to get it, and it was gone.
Sorry.
Can you, like, make reservations? Like, listen, it's me, Nick. Can you just,
maybe we can make
just cull a couple off there, put them off to the side, throw my name on it.
As much as I like to think I'm that cool, I would call and they'd be like, who?
You'll probably you get to the point where, like, even before you're done canning them, everyone is spoken for.
Yeah.
Everybody calls up and like, I'll take a case. Next
For sure.
They're literally all, before you've even made them, they're all spoken for.
Yeah.
I mean, it's probably much how you said before, how Heady Topper would have worked.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's like, remember you used to order a car when you could actually order your car.
You still can.
Well, you know what I mean, but you could order this option and that option, and you could do specialty options. It's literally like, I'm ordering my beer custom.
Yeah.
Like, I want it, I want it this way.
And that's one of the biggest challenges. I mean, that's something I deal with a lot up front, and it's not great. Like the example you bring up with, we had that Walter with vanilla that we let sit in a can or in a keg for, almost like 6 months or a little less. And
of course it was.
And then it's not, I want it to last all weekend long. I want everybody that's coming to get it.
20 minutes.
And it's not like, there's no fun in saying, sorry, we don't have any.
Yeah.
But
I'm sure that most people that are listening are like, wow, it must be, they must be a really small operation. They're not. They're not at all.
Well, we started with a 4-barrel, which is pretty tiny.
But you've progressively, we
have gotten, we're working on that problem.
Yeah.
So it's, hopefully we don't have that problem in a little while.
I guess we got to finish these beers real quick.
I'm going to get you some other glasses, that way you don't got to.
That don't matter.
It doesn't matter, really.
What does this line mean?
The lacing?
10 ounces. I mean, that line? This line?
10 ounces.
Oh, this is what you call the lacing, the sips.
Yeah.
The stuff on the side.
But I was talking about that
line.
It's 10 ounces.
Yep.
That was from when we had our tasting room open. So this one's Socratic question number 8. This is the India Pale Ale.
But a single.
Single, 7%, made with Australian, New Zealand, and American hops.
Nice.
So this one's going to be a little more hop forward than the Pale Ale.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, much more.
Seemingly, like, they look so similar, and I keep expecting the taste to be
I know
the same, and it's pretty drastically different.
Yeah, which is good.
That's an awesome.
That's what I want.
Yeah.
I don't want people to say, "Oh, this is," if your beers all taste the same.
It's got a dark.
I almost imagine it would be like this one would be the taste the same as this one, but just have a little more hoppy, a little more alcohol, and this one would be a little bit hoppier and a little more alcohol.
Right.
But it's definitely very unique
Yeah, those
flavor-wise.
Yeah,
Color profile's close.
The hops, the hops give the different flavors. Australian and New Zealand hops, to me, they give this. You just know you're drinking a beer with those hops in it. It just has like a different flavor.
For sure. This has got like a dark roasted flavor to it. Like a little hint. Am I
really?
Yeah, like a roasted, like a cooked, not smoked, but like.
There's definitely something to it that I don't know. Is it like
dark,
a maltiness, maybe that you don't normally get in a
like a roasted malt? Yeah,
well, I don't know if you. I mean, there's no roasted malts in there.
No, just the taste like a little.
It could be a little more. We actually do. I spend a lot of time on my grain bill, and we do use a little. We're not just always, and our IPAs is not just always 2-row. We have other stuff that we put in there that does give our beer a little more of a maltiness, a little more balance. I really strive for that balance in our beer. Okay. When you drink it,
it's not bad. It's just to me, it's like I said, just like a roasted nuts, like nutty, dark, like
and whatever that is, it cuts it somewhat so that it's not so hoppy.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. It is hoppy,
hop forward. Yeah,
but it almost even tastes like it's even less hoppy than the pale ale.
Yeah,
just based on the flavor.
Because there's that last.
Yeah,
it's like
definitely.
Yeah, you know what I'm talking about. You know what I'm saying.
And it goes back to what Steve always says: the water.
Yeah.
And what it brings out in those flavors.
Yeah, I can't place my finger on it.
Yeah, me neither. But it's definitely lesser than I expected.
Yeah.
Not that it's lesser than I expected. It's delicious. It's just
no. And when I don't mean like a dark beer flavor. Like I think of like a dark roast is what I'm thinking in my head. Like a roasty. Like if you were like with coffee when you do a dark roast. Like maybe you did.
Maybe it could be some of the maltiness.
Yeah, maybe.
Pick it up.
Well, no. All right, where did we leave off? We talked about. So, all right, so you've got your head brewer, you've got a name. What's the next step in the process?
Paperwork.
Yeah.
Paperwork and waiting and paperwork and waiting.
It's like when it's waiting for like the next hammer to fall as you're building out. I mean, I think as a fellow business owner, you just expect the unexpected.
Especially in this industry.
To be on your heels a lot. Even of how planned out you can be, you need to be able to roll with the punches. And I think that's a lot of the beauty in this partnership is that we all brought something unique to the table. It all mixed in very well. And it helped create what it was, like the year plus to get to opening, to learning a lot about electric, learning a lot about drainage, and still thinking back to the decisions that we made. Like the decisions that we made a year and a half ago has forced Alan to sweep water all day long sometimes. But that is, and getting things off the ground, it was just basically... And again, went by why we're called Fidens and why that name resonated so quickly when Raquel came in. We basically exclaimed that she found the name, and we're like, what is that? And then it just made total sense. And then once we did open the doors, it's really been like bringing in a guy like Alan who just brought... There was three of us that brought a lot to the table. He uniquely balances out. I don't think he's helping Timmy with the books very often, but outside of that, he is touching every part of this business.
Awesome. And
really bringing us together. And then we have Garrett and we have Anthony, who are other part-time employees that are... We're filling one crowler at a time. I mean, Anthony's been meeting me at 5 o'clock in the morning tomorrow to start filling for the week.
Wow.
And so it's... Getting to where we needed to open the doors was a lot of the three of us. Since we've opened the doors, it's been a collaborative of help to this point.
Yeah, we recently talked to Rich over at Frog Alley, so that you guys have one of his students that are working here. I'm assuming, is that Anthony?
That's Garrett.
See, I'm horrible at names.
Yeah, definitely. You said Rich from...
Rich from Frog Alley.
Frog Alley.
Not Drew, but Rich. But the whole time, I kept calling Rich Drew when we were there. And I ran into TJ yesterday, and I was like, "Hey, JT."
JT, yes, JT. You were close. I mean, you were right there. You had the letters right.
I did, just jumbled.
You got to box that exacta.
But I got it. Speaking of which, I did. my gambling this summer on the track was it started off here, shot up here, and then
Does that mean like what shot up there? The amount of money you spent or
that I
lost
made.
or won?
I was winning. So I was like losing. Then I won. I had a really good summer, and then I should have just stopped and pulled the plug. But I couldn't stop until I hit 0 again, so I broke even.
Jen and I actually hit the Derby a couple weeks ago. She was all excited about that. What was it? I can't remember the name of the horse. The heavy favorite.
Yeah, and he lost.
She had some bets on it, and we were sitting there at dinner in Saratoga. And she's like, "Do you want to put another bet on the race?" I'm like, "Nah, I really don't feel like."
Now, do you do the app or do you go to?
She had it on. Yeah, she had it on her phone.
Yeah, that's what I.
So she had an account, and obviously there was money on it. I'm like, "Yeah, I really don't feel like betting." She's like, "Come on, just take a look." I'm like, "All right." I'm like, "Obviously this one horse is a heavy favorite. Like, it's gonna win."
Yeah.
So I'm like, it obviously has to be one of the horses in our whatever. So I look at all the names. I'm not too psyched about it. I just noticed the 18 horse right after. Whatever that horse was, and I'm like, it's Velasquez on the thing. It was Bob Baffert, I think, was the trainer. I'm like, you know what? Sometimes that's a real good combination.
Yeah.
So I'm like, let's do an exacta box on the 17 and 18.
Yeah.
She's like, all right, I figure it's not going to hit that much because, probably, I figure the winner's
supposed to win. Yeah.
The figure's going to win. I couldn't believe it. We watched it. We put $5 exacta box on it.
Yeah.
Dude, your $10 bet. Won us like $110.
Wow, that's awesome.
It was awesome. I couldn't believe it. I'm watching the race. I'm like, holy cow, we're actually going to win this.
Yeah.
I couldn't believe it. We literally put the bet in like 3 minutes before the post time.
Yeah.
And she's like, it's in. And then she's like, I can't bet anymore. I'm like, got it in. I'm like, holy cow, we actually won. This year I'm up actually at the track.
Are you?
Buddy of mine always do a couple races on Thursdays, and this year we actually hit another exacta for a couple $100. So we were automatically up for the season.
I'm not even a gambler.
Neither am I.
But just because we're so close to Saratoga, I feel like I need to. And I used to go like once or twice a year. I don't know if you guys have been, but it's definitely worth going and being a part of that atmosphere. And you gamble a couple bucks. And then when it wasn't going to happen this year, I was kind of like, let me get the app. So I got the app, and I like the one of the first couple horses I did. And I was doing like $2 bets, $1 bet, blah blah blah. And then I gave like a month off, and like at the end of like end of June. At the end of July, there was one horse. I was just looking at the app. He was like 64-1 to win, and I'm like, that's calling my name. Like,
oh yeah,
I'm just gonna put $1 down, and I hit. I was like, whoa, made a good chunk of money, and then I had a couple other good ones, and I got all cocky, and then I started getting into the exactas and the super whatever, and I lost money.
Happens.
That app was genius, though.
Oh yeah, for sure.
I want to say that somebody told me that the betting was not down at all.
Yeah, no,
I bet
this
year compared to other years, even though they couldn't have people at the track. Betting was pretty much right there, which is genius. I mean, you could go to Stewart's, I want to say, and be like, you could get a gift card, like a Naira gift card.
Oh yeah,
and just literally like gamble right over your phone. Like that. I mean. Not that gambling is good for everybody, but it made it really easy to bet the horses.
For sure. As a matter of fact, the last couple times I've been there, the only reason why I knew about the app is like my friends are all sitting there at their seats, and I'm getting up and running over to the window, and I'm getting yelled at by the lady. She's like, I'll sit there and say, all right, I'm going to put $4 on what horse? Oh, this place. So there's a certain way you have to say it.
Yes,
and I never learn it. I don't learn it.
No, you look like you have to. You got to know that. You go up there like, oh, boo.
Yeah.
Like, no, you can't do that. Like, you got to know. It says it right there.
And
boom,
then
boom, boom.
There's like a line of people behind you, and they're all overhearing this conversation, and you're walking past them, and they're like,
they're probably like, amateur, this guy. It says right there.
Yeah, it does too. I always forget to look at it. Anyway, long story short, my friends would never get out of their chairs. They would just go in, and they would bet the money, and I would get up and make the extra couple steps. I'm wondering though. I'm curious for next year. Is how did Shake Shack do? How did Nathan's
I don't know.
do? Are those places going to be there?
I don't know. And I tell you, I love the Shake Shack.
Yeah,
those burgers are awesome.
And they're frozen custard.
Yeah, that place was great. We'd sometimes, I hate to admit, like, for just an excuse to go bet a couple races so we could go to the Shake Shack.
All right. Anyway, we're done with that tangent. But yeah, I'm curious to see what next year's going to hold.
Yeah, that was. I mean, it sucked for two. I mean, it was good for the track to have the handle be what it was, but we drove through Saratoga several times during this a good place. Like you go by the King's Head Taverns right there across of it. There wasn't even a car in the parking lot. Like it's like the city itself. I mean, it was absolutely the city itself suffered so badly.
Yeah.
Like I mean, it was not only like not busy, it was like deserted. Like no one around the track. There wasn't really anybody. I mean, of course, you get Saratoga's a popular city regardless of what's going on at the track. So there was people downtown, but I mean, you're talking about what's it usually the track draws like maybe hundreds of thousands of people over the course of a month. And I bet you they didn't see 5% of what they normally see.
And then you think about the breweries out there too. You think about like obviously Whitman just opened, so they didn't really get the opportunity to get a taste of what the track could do for them. But you got even somewhat close. You've got places like Common Roots and like places like Pint Size. Like we went to Pint Size. I don't know if you guys ever heard of Pint. Obviously, famous place in Saratoga. They're allowing 2 people in there at a time.
Wow.
And I didn't realize it. I walked in, I ran to the bathroom, and it made us
Better
3.
duck your head.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, a little. And then I walked back out, and I'm sitting there asking all these dumb questions, and there's like people coming in, and I finally caught on that he was pushing people out until I left, and I was just like wasting his time. So I was like, oh, quickly. I built my own 4-pack, and Dave and I got a couple beers and left.
Nice.
Yeah.
I still haven't drank that beer. It's still in my fridge.
I drank the one you have at your shop, the pineapple versus frogs. I don't know.
Cactus versus penguin?
Yes.
You weren't even close.
Yes, I was.
No, you weren't. That's a was it KCBC?
KCBC.
Kings County Brewing Collective.
I was trying to remember what it was.
That's what it is.
And then I had Equilibrium. Line Phaser, I think is what it's called. Or Phaser Line.
I don't remember that one.
It was good. I'm a fan of. You guys ever have Equilibrium?
Yes.
Yeah, the beers are really good.
Really good.
Yeah, they're I think considered one of the
for sure. And then I thought I bought a sour.
Frankly, I don't remember. I was so worried about getting thrown out of there. He's like, "Come on, guys, make your pick." He's got this nerd over here. Oh yeah, what's in this? You're like, and there's people dying
We're looking at video games.
I just want my beer.
We're walking around looking at the artwork.
Imagine if you were like doing that heady topper, like, "Oh, what's this?"
Yeah.
People are like, "Get out of the way! I need my fucking beer."
But yeah, I ended up buying a mead. I thought I was buying a sour.
I've had mead. It's pretty good.
Yeah.
I want to say, that's a good question. Now it brings up. I don't know anything about them. I know that I've had one. It was at Hill Farmstead, as a matter of fact. It was similar to a mead because there was definitely honey in it.
Yeah.
Do you guys know anything about meads? I mean, I got a brewer right here. But I'm putting the pressure on.
I don't know anything about meads, no. But we got a good friend, Greg from Royal Meadery.
Okay. Yeah.
That he makes excellent meads.
Let's say this. I don't know. I know so little. Like, how is it that they're different than brewing a beer? Is it like more like a wine?
So mead is basically wine without the grape. It's the honey that they use
as the sugar.
So I mean, it's good. It's definitely good. I'm a beer drinker, but the stuff that I've had at Greg's at Royal Meadery is pretty.
Is that Scotia?
Awesome.
Is that Scotia?
There's Delmar.
Delmar.
Is it carbonated? Oh, these are all, I have no idea.
It's carbonated.
No, I don't think so. It is.
But it almost has. I mean, I'm claiming
it's a very
claiming
full
ignorance
body
here.
to it. Like when you drink it, it's sweet, but it can be dry. It just depends on how they do it.
How they make it.
It's light. It's nice. It's like Greg's stuff is refreshing. I mean, we mention him because he's been great to us. I mean, in getting this off the ground and as we go, obviously we're very. We're constantly within our own walls, especially once the tasting room got closed. And Royal Meadery has been, Greg and his wife have just been amazing to us.
Mm-hmm.
With this keg washer here is a beautiful piece of machinery.
It's
absorbing about 10% of our former tasting room. But he has been helping us out with keg washing, and he's always answering and helping us, and he's very knowledgeable. So I definitely encourage you to seek them out.
Yeah, check them out.
They are
definitely.
a really cool shop, and we had hoped that we had plans before March when we basically shut the doors to the tasting room. We were going to serve some of Greg's mead. We were looking forward to that, but unfortunately it didn't happen.
It's interesting.
It's a beautiful space there.
Yeah.
You walk in there, you're like, wow, this is really awesome.
For sure. I've only been to one place that I've only had mead from one place, and there's Shipyard, the original Shipyard, which I forget the name of that place, but right next door to it is a meadery, and I've had mead there, and it was interesting. I had one that was spicy, like habanero mead, which I didn't really like the sweetness but then I had just like a regular like pineapple mead or something like that, and it was good.
Yeah, I mean, I know Greg barrel ages some.
Yep.
If you're into that, barrel aged stouts,
definitely check it out.
Sours and stuff. It's right down your alley.
Yeah, for sure. We might have to eventually make that trip when we do
No,
Albany.
definitely do.
Yeah.
I mean, I figured that. You know what that reminded me too? Like, there's a lot of distilleries going up as well.
Yes.
I mean, that's not actually capital brew.
No.
But I mean, they're made similarly.
We always talk about what's brewing in the Capital District. It doesn't always have to be beer that's brewing. There's distilleries that's brewing up some interest in the Capital District that I think our listeners would be willing to or want to hear or learn from.
I know he's a big beer guy, and he even has beer at his spot. So like I think you can even get cans of
box truck of Goldfish.
I feel like
No.
he gets some really good stuff. He's really knowledgeable about meads and beer, and probably about spirits as well.
I think there's a meadery in Glenville or Scotia or something. I thought I heard.
No, I don't know. Meadery.
Is that what they're called?
Just sounds. Yeah, that's what I assume. I have no idea. It's like same thing as a brewery, but
Meadery, yeah.
Meadery.
It sounds like you should
Winery,
have meadery.
Winery.
Vinery.
What?
I don't know.
All right.
So where did we leave off?
We were just drinking the rest of this single IPA, which was called Socratic Questioning number 8.
Mm-hmm.
Socrates Johnson number 8. Remember Bill and Ted's? Remember when they were introducing all the people to one of them? He goes Socrates Johnson. Yeah. He calls him.
Yeah. Instead of Socrates.
Beef oven. But my favorite is just Socrates Johnson.
I might have to write that down for a beer name.
Yeah, right? I never fails to amuse me when I think of it. Like,
have you watched the newest?
No, not yet. I mean, you got to be careful. Like you have these expectations from like these were like your childhood. Like you loved these movies.
Yeah.
Like it's like meeting your idol, and your idol ends up being a douchebag. Like you can perfectly ruin a great movie.
Yeah.
Or a great thing by doing something like that.
For sure.
So I'm a little wary of like rushing out and watching it just because it might be like a massive disappointment, and it might be like, wow, I'm like,
we don't have to run out. It's right on Amazon. It's also
but you know what I mean.
$20.
That's a figure of speech.
Yeah.
I'm not running anywhere, frankly. I mean, so if you want to be,
thank you so much.
But I'm like I said, I'm just I don't. If they can ruin a perfect the second one, what was it? The Bogus Journey.
Yes.
I mean, that was close to ruining it for me as it was.
It was the first half of the movie was horrible.
Exactly. I mean, like they almost ruined it for me. Then I'm like, now you can't do that.
Plus, I think the first time I watched it, I was a child and had like strep throat, so I had like a really high fever, and I was sick. I was in and out of consciousness, and I was like halfway hallucinating with a fever watching that movie, and it was just brutal.
Any Lebowski fans here?
Oh, for sure.
Oh, of course. We definitely.
That's always rumored to have a sequel. I think it's just mostly wishful thinking, but it's probably the same thing. It probably never should happen.
Right. I mean, sometimes you don't mess with.
That they could do it.
They don't mess with obviously what happens. Although I'll say this. It wasn't like they did it like 2 years later with some other director and like some cheesy cast members. It's like I think they attempted to like bring everybody back and make a legit movie about it, not like Friday the 13th. Jason Takes Manhattan. I mean, seriously, come
on. I love horrible horror movies.
I mean, Jesus, you're really stretching. Somebody needed a paycheck, I guess.
Did he end up getting Manhattan?
I don't know. I mean, honestly,
no, Manhattan guy.
I just took one look at that. I'm like, well, there's definitely a movie I'm never watching.
The toxic water in the sewer systems, I think, is what killed him in that one.
No, he's not dead. He never dies. So
well, in every episode, every whatever movie.
Well, you know what it was? It was the alligator.
The alligator.
Right? Yeah. Now that we'll talk about a scary movie. I'm like, I didn't want to go in my parents' pool at nighttime. I'm like, I don't need this.
I didn't want to sit on the
fucking
toilet.
12-foot alligator taking a. I was scared shitless. I didn't want to do that.
Well, my cousin, older cousin, probably about 14 years older, obviously used to pick on me and try to scare me all the time, and he would always have me watch horror movies, which normally didn't bother me. But the alligator did scare me because the alligator went flushed down the toilet. And he's like, oh yeah, it's all over the place. So they're like, if you lift a manhole cover, there's nothing but alligators down there, and you got to be careful when you sit on the toilet because they might come back up the toilet and bite you. So
That's something I would definitely believe.
Yeah, I was afraid as a child.
I mean, come on, you're in a really vulnerable position.
Yeah.
What you're on the what? You're on the potty. What
Squatty
is it?
potty.
Squatty potty.
Yeah, you're on the squatty potty. See, I worked it in. Oh my god, you're on the squatty potty. You got your John, your stuff dangling there. You're like, the last thing I want is freaking alligator coming up, taking a bite out of it. I mean, like,
if a shark came up, you might have to jump over it.
Nope. See, no. I'm gonna have to. We're gonna have to edit that.
Is that a John Hine reference? Is that a John Hine reference right there?
No, that was Actually,
that's getting edited. I'm exercising my veto power on that.
I made it. I did make it through a podcast, but it's a bonus podcast without bringing that up.
So you're going to venture into the double IPA and see if you can work your way up the ladder.
It's tough now. See, the other ones weren't full beers. Of course, the double is the one where you give me a full pint. Great.
And this is this one.
It's not Socrates Johnson.
Yeah,
No,
number 9.
Socratic. Oh, number 9. This is number 8.
9.
Oh, it's the same thing though.
It is. Well, it's a different can.
Different beer.
I don't taste
This
that.
one's 7.6 on the ABV.
I don't taste the roasted feel that I had on this one as I do on.
Different grain bill. This one's basically just 2-row. More hops come through. Basically, what we did with this one is we put it in 2 separate fermenters, and then I blended it into the bright together.
So it's 2 different. What do you say?
2 different beers. So I took 2 different fermenters.
Yep.
I dry hopped one with Mosaic and one with Simcoe. Citra was in the Whirlpool. Once it's all set, I blended them in the bright tank and carbonated.
Like the holding tank. Okay. All right. Yep.
Blend them in the bright tank and then carbonate them and keg them.
Which one has the Simcoe? Is it the 8 or the 9? It's the 8?
9.
9. I actually like 9 better.
No, he's mentioned the 2 grain.
2-row.
2-row many times. Like for anybody who's listening, you might not know what that means. There's 2-row and 6-row.
There is 6-row, yeah.
But mostly
most brewers use 2-row.
It's better for our.
It's better for conversion.
And that's just like for anybody who's listening. It's the way the grain grows out of the ground, like 2 rows facing opposing each other, essentially.
Yeah, then 6 grain is.
It's just a different style. Yes, all right. But I want to say one is good for certain things and one is good for other certain things.
Yeah, but here
like
we just use 2-row.
Which is more common for most.
I would say most.
Yes,
most
all right.
breweries use 2-row.
So had to get that out of the way for everybody, and myself included.
Good old Hermit system. What is it?
Herms.
Oh,
Herm
geez,
system?
Yeah.
Herms.
Yep. Good old Herms. Is it spelled like Hermes or Herme?
I don't know.
H-E-R.
How do you say? You say it, it's like, is it Herme or Hermes?
Or like a gyro or euro.
It's definitely Euro.
Yeah.
I just had one of those the other day, as a matter of
From
fact.
where?
Sicilian.
Okay.
Sicilian on Van Vranken.
Yeah,
I think there's
I know.
another one on State.
Okay, another one right next
A
to the
lamb,
old bank.
by the way,
Yeah.
lamb.
Lamb, yeah.
Yeah, and it was, I gotta say, it was delicious.
It was good?
Yeah.
As good as
I mean,
New York?
I don't know if I've ever had a gyro from New York.
From a street cart?
See, usually in the street carts, I just get the thing on a stick.
Okay.
I don't know what it is usually. It's just the one that looks good.
Yeah. No, the euros on the street carts are delicious.
Yeah, no, I know. Like I said, don't usually get the gyro. It's usually the stick.
See, I used to manage a band, Bulletproof Messenger, and they were kind of scattered all over. The bass player was from Schenectady, and the singer was from doesn't matter, Maryland, and there was people from Long Island, Manhattan, all over the place. The band was like really scattered. But we went into the Cutting Room Studios in New York, and we had a cart, street cart, right out in front of the door of the studio, and it was like the #1 street cart, and that's what he made was gyros. Phenomenal. They're good.
Easy. They're easy. You just got to have the pita there. You slap it on there, a little tzatziki.
Takes the sauce. The
Oh,
cucumber.
yeah. I love that. That's good.
It was delicious. I think you're cutting it in front of you.
Yep.
Yeah, man.
I'm definitely would have passed health code inspection.
You got to
for
get
sure.
falafel if you're in New York City from a truck.
Yeah.
Sounds like you guys share something in common.
Street food?
As far as with
street food, yeah.
Managing of bands. That was like one of the coolest facts I learned about Alan early on as he came into the pictures. That element of music and some of those experiences, it was pretty cool.
It's a lot of fun. It's
pretty
a lot of
crazy
headaches.
5 years.
Yeah, yeah.
A lot of traveling.
Yep, a lot of driving, a lot of, probably a lot of South Park, a lot of Always Sunny in Philadelphia, a lot of things that we would watch when we were riding. But the smell that you get inside of the van, you can't describe. It's just horrible. Horrible.
Terrible feet.
Yeah. Feet, farts mostly. Guys wrestling
Booze.
over the back window. Yeah, booze. Throw up. Guys fighting over the back window to smoke cigarettes, and I don't know. I miss it. I do miss it.
Those were the days.
Yeah, I miss it. I would do it again. I don't know about you, but I would do it again.
I miss it, but I moved on. I found something better.
Yeah. Oh, for sure. I still miss it though.
I mean, it was an experience. I definitely wouldn't ever give it up.
Yeah.
But I get to live a dream now. So
yeah, true. Oh, beer.
I feel like we benefit from that experience because it's amazing how like Johnny in the spot Alan is. Like he just seems to anticipate things and take control and see what this next person is doing, and it's just like before I even thought of it, he's already there, hitting me with Purell or something.
It's funny you say that.
Are you sure that was Purell?
Oh, I trust him with everything. Right. So yeah,
it's funny that you say that because managing a band is like managing a bunch of drinking, smoking 4-year-olds, just like doing drugs and stuff. So it's like I know,
sounds like my job.
Yeah,
we were somewhere in Canada, and I was going to check it. We were the headliner band, and we had paid for the hotel room at the end of the tour for the younger bands.
Okay, cool.
So we threw a big party that night. We got yelled at, typical. And in the morning, everyone's hungover, this and that. Everyone's packing their shit, and I'm in the lobby paying the guy, and all I hear in the morning, like 10 a.m. fireworks going off in the parking lot. And I look at the guy and I said, "We're leaving, man. We're leaving. I'm sorry, but we're leaving." Somewhere up in Canada. I don't know.
I've been there.
Are fireworks legal in Canada?
I don't know.
It didn't matter.
Doesn't matter.
It
Really.
doesn't matter. They're lighting cars on fire.
Like he said,
sure.
it's like babysitting a bunch of drunk kids, grown ass
like
men.
I said, my job.
But kids.
That's not his experience here, by the way.
No. Similar situation that I had with we were the Montreal. What's this? The hockey team, Montreal Canadiens.
The Habs.
Yeah, their stadium was right there. They were like in the middle of the playoffs.
Used to be the Forum. I don't know what it's called.
Bell Center.
Yeah, there's
What's it called? It was the Molson Center too at one point, I think.
Yeah, Bell Center.
Now it's Bell Center. So you guys are on that. I wouldn't even.
Well,
know.
we're
from just below
we're
it.
from like an hour south.
Oh, that makes sense.
Montreal.
When I saw a game there, it was definitely the Molson Center. That sounds right. Yeah.
Well, how well do you know? I mean, there's a directly across the street is a hotel.
Yep.
With a parking lot, and the next block over, directly across the street from the parking lot, is a police station.
Yeah.
And I've got.
We stayed at that hotel a lot.
Yeah, the
I
police
wanna say
station.
it's Sheridan.
Yeah.
Is what I think it is.
I think you're all right.
And
I think you are right.
Tim, who's not here, he was. We've definitely been up to Montreal a handful of times. And the Sheridan, I believe, is where we always stayed. And there's like some bar that's right outside of the Bell Center, maybe formerly the Molson. I'm blanking what it is, but yeah, what a fun town.
Yeah.
I know that there's a street there. I think it's called St. Catherine.
St. Catherine Street.
Where you
Heard of
might
it.
find yourself a good time.
Maybe.
I'm not saying anything like I've been there or done that,
I've been there.
but I think it's a fun street.
It is.
If you get my meaning.
The promoter who brought us out there and paid for the hotel rooms and the whole nine, and gave some party favors plus some a company that for the time that we were there that night. We went out to some Chinese food restaurants, met our company at a strip club, and then they were with us for the rest of the night.
We never did any of that crazy stuff.
Oh my God!
Same
Just,
here.
just throwing that out there.
Because it's funny because there wasn't any swear words. I mean, he would swear on stage, but there was no real swear words in the music because we're radio friendly and it was funny because there was no swear words in a lot of our songs like "Bring Me to Life" and "Save Me" and stuff like that. A lot of Christian radio stations thought we were a Christian rock band, and we were able to
What was it? Jesus Plus One? was that
Well,
the
it's called
Christian rock
Bulletproof
band?
Messenger was the name of the band.
No, on South Park was it?
Oh, probably, yeah.
Right? It was something like that.
Yeah.
Cartman made up the
Yeah,
band. Something Plus One.
Yeah, they're. But so we got a lot of shows posing as a Christian rock band, which like half the band was Jewish.
Tell me you converted.
Yes.
I mean, every show is different, and every part of. I mean, we did. With multiple bands have been to 15 countries.
Yeah.
So it was like every part of the world is different in the way it's the culture, just to experience the culture.
How old were you when you first started doing that?
I was like 18.
Wow.
That's crazy.
I was pretty young.
18 to 23.
Yeah.
5
crazy.
years.
I
Just carrying bags of cash, like I just let your time.
I actually had a briefcase.
Nice.
People thought I had a gun in
to
it.
your,
I just had a bunch of contracts and money.
No, like green M&Ms or whatever it is.
those are the riders. It's a
I
venue.
did carry book bags of money a lot at one point.
We never given book bags of money.
Walking around London with a backpack full of cash.
We lost our drummer in London, and he ended up getting held up at knife point trying to buy drugs. But we found him.
It's a good thing he didn't have the money.
Yeah,
Right?
He would have sold it us out. Or he would have sold the band members for. Yeah. Oh man, good times.
We were with a band called Sum 41 at the time.
Oh, some 40. Yeah.
I've heard of
And
that.
some guy threatened us all with a gun. Everyone got up into the tour bus, and we were all just like looking outside at this crazy bastard.
Who was in the band? Some 41.
He was. It was some random house. We were in St. Louis.
Yeah.
And he got into a altercation with somebody in the band, and we were all just like, everyone get on the fucking bus now.
Yeah.
This shit's getting bad. So we
We're
all
leaving.
had to pile onto the bus and wait for things to cool down.
That was one of the first things I would do when I got to a venue was make good with security. Very first thing I did. Before I even talked to management, we got to sound check, make good with security.
That's truth.
Yeah, they will. So they don't. The last thing I want to have happen is a security guard bounce my drummer off the ground and have him break an arm. And then on top of it, anybody comes after one of my guys, I want to make sure that they got their back. And then after that, you got to make good with the sound guy because you want to,
Definitely sound guy.
Yeah.
Also the bartenders.
Yeah, the bar. Oh, for sure. That's a matter of fact. While I was making good with the bartenders, it was really helping me making good with the security guys because I would be like, "Hey, I need 4 shots of Jägermeister. Here's $80. Remember my guys. Remember us." And then go out and hand out shots to the security. Every once in a while, sneak them some shots, and they took care of us.
All right, awesome. Let's try this beer.
I thought we already were.
We didn't.
I don't
We
even
got
remember. This one's the new one.
sidetracked.
This is the new. This is 9.
And this was
Noine.
the same name, but number 9. The same name as the.
Yeah.
So, Socratic questioning.
Socratic question.
Socratic questioning.
questioning.
Number 9. Number 9.
Now, this almost tastes a little bit like in between the last two,
Yes.
right?
Yeah. For sure. I like this one better than 8. Not that I dislike 8. 8 was great.
No, listen, everybody
Yeah.
likes different things, man, and
Yeah.
that's just how it is. I mean,
This one's a
I
brighter.
think I agree.
yeah.
I think I like this one better too.
Yeah.
Even though this is now higher, right? It's now what?
yeah,
for
it's-
sure. We're
yeah,
7.5.
7.5. Yeah.
I think we're turning you, Dave.
Yeah. Yes. Yep.
You're not going to be able to
I
drink
don't think a
another
lot of
Busch.
people out there really know that basically all I drink is natural light beer.
No,
So
natty.
we probably should probably. Well, natural light is
Yeah.
the actual beer. Natty is just the short version
Yeah.
of it.
Yeah, well, I didn't know. I've always seen you with a Busch. I said
Well,
Busch.
because we don't sell Bush, and I would just have it sent for me specifically because I don't think anybody else is going to buy it.
Yeah.
So if I had to go buy it, I'll stick to natural light.
Natural Light was big in the South. Like when I was down in Charlotte for those handful of years, a lot of younger coworkers, and Natural Light was a very popular drink amongst the when they were in college.
Yes.
Yes.
Same here.
Easy drinking beer, relatively inexpensive.
Ours was 30 Stones. I think a lot of times when we
Keystones.
got when we were.
We had the Beast, and we had later on. Early on, it was the Beast. After that, became Natty Ice.
Yeah, the Beast was real big.
Natty Light.
So you
Ice
get the
House.
bar bottles. No, that was a little bit. Ice House
Too
was
high-
a little bit.
high
Like,
octane?
I want to say after my time a little bit. And like when we were like really broke in college, like you're not even drinking brand name except
No.
for like the Milwaukee's
Miller.
Best. Did you get the
Champagne
Milwaukee's
beers.
Best? Like remember the old what's it referred to? I think is the bar bottles.
Yeah.
The long neck, with the pop top. You can have
Yep.
a not screw top, and you'd get the case that was really hard.
Yeah.
Like hard cardboard. I mean,
Yeah.
you could actually like stack it up and
It's
make
like a
furniture
metal
out of
frame
it.
to it.
Yeah, and I want to say, that was their. Well, I think it was like $9.68 for a case with deposit.
Yeah, for sure. I imagine the case was probably more expensive than the.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, that was that's what we drank. That was our cheap drink. It wasn't like we did a lot of kegs too.
Yeah.
It was a lot cheaper to go through kegs.
Yep.
Buying individual beers.
What about beer balls?
Hell yeah.
Yeah, Matt's beer
Jenny.
balls.
Yeah, I remember.
Absolutely, Matt's beer balls. The best thing about Matt, like, I don't think anybody. A couple other people made them, but Matt's was the real famous one. And, you got to make sure you got a jackknife with you, because you are not getting. You're not those little 2 prongs are not getting those last couple beers in the bottom. Everybody. You're looking at everybody try to pump it out, and they're like, "Oh, I'm not getting any beer out of it." But there's beer in there.
Yeah.
And we're still thirsty. We're getting that beer out of there.
Just beer that can be drank.
Oh yeah, and I just remember so many times hacking the lid right out of it so you could just get in there and scoop those last warm sips up.
The flat beer.
Yep. Oh my God, yeah.
Which I think are now, very illegal in New York.
They don't make them anymore.
I haven't seen them in years.
Yeah,
No.
it's been at least 20 something.
Well, it's something like we could bring it back, like bring everything retro now.
Yeah.
Is popular, and that's a decent amount of beer. Like, you're with 4 or 5 guys. That's a decent amount of beer.
For
rather
sure.
than dragging around a bunch of cases. You're like, hey, just one beer ball, we're ready to go.
Yeah.
One of my nicknames is Wiki Carter because I'll give you an answer, but you probably want to check it. And I believe the beer balls are illegal in the state. I believe. I think I'm feeling pretty good about that.
Right.
It's probably why you don't see them, because if you did, if they were illegal, we'd probably see a lot more of them. I think it's the 2-prong tap. I think might be one of the problems, because the tap itself was probably a 1.5 feet long and had like a couple sharp edges, so you could push it all the way down, and so it could get like.
And did it come with the package, or did you have to rent that?
See, that's the thing.
I think you had to rent it.
Sometimes
with
you had
the tap.
to. Yeah, I mean, I can't remember exactly, if it came with it or not, but I know that you had to get rid of it somehow to get the last of the beer out.
I hope my mom's not listening, because I definitely wasn't of age when they were legal.
Neither was I.
Matt's. I don't really remember. Like, say, was there a Genesee one you said?
I'm pretty sure there was
Matt's
a
is the one I always remember.
I want to say there was a Michelob one too.
Yeah, the domestic beers. It was always like the Bud Ball. I think it was a Budweiser. Is what we were getting.
They probably don't make it because it probably didn't really fit good in a cooler.
No.
You know
yeah,
what I mean?
does that?
Like, where do you put it?
A bathtub filled with ice?
That's where we always put it, yes. Yeah. I guess that's where everybody put it, right?
Hanging off the back of the boat?
Or a big plastic.
Yeah.
Plastic tub.
Yeah, plastic tub.
Yeah, I think it came in a plastic bag in the box, and you could just
it did.
You could just
It
dump
did.
the ice into the bag.
That was genius.
Yeah, I remember that now. It definitely did.
Yeah, that was good thinking. But there was always a hole in it. You still always had to put it like in the bathtub.
Yeah.
On the grass. So I'm assuming your drop dead time is 4:30 again?
No, whatever.
We don't really have whatever.
It's when you guys are bored with us, I guess.
I have no idea. I do have to get back. I got a bonus tonight.
Oh, yeah?
I'm smoking some what are referred to as low country ribs.
Okay. So country-style ribs, no bones?
But
Pork?
they're weird. You don't get the rack. They're individually cut.
Yeah, sliced.
And they're not. And some of them have bones, but the bone
that's
isn't
weird.
like a rib bone. Like,
Where'd you get it
that
from?
They're right now, I think, at Hannaford. They're really inexpensive.
I get them from Price Shower, yeah.
And when you get them, like, it's like almost 2 or different styles of meat actually on it. Like, you'll get like a little edge of the belly, which is like the bacon part, and then you'll get like a little part of rib, and then you'll get something like the
short rib or whatever.
It's like the back. You know what I mean? Like you're getting like 3 different types of meat on the one rib. For some reason, they're not popular, so they're always very inexpensive. So I decided, I wasn't really doing anything. I rubbed them and put them in the smoker. They'll be ready at like 6 o'clock, and I did like a 6-hour smoke for them.
Yeah, I do it all the time.
Yeah, I mean, it's just simple, and then also my fiance is making chicken marsala.
Oh, there you go.
So is Monday typically your Monday, Tuesday? Is that your days off or the?
Nope, Tuesday. I got to work tomorrow. Monday's usually the day that we try to, Sunday football, obviously.
Yeah.
So that day's out.
So how are you? How are you doing? Did you ended up not getting the package?
No, yeah, we did not.
Are you doing the local games at least?
Of course.
Oh, obviously.
Of course,
Yeah.
but they wanted full price to do the package, and I'm like, well, we only can have half capacity. Why are we paying full price?
Yeah.
Yeah, recently I forget who I was talking with that was saying that they're not even working with the new 2020 norm of what that is.
I wonder
it was
if-
already very expensive with like the seats that you'd have
Yeah,
to do.
yeah.
Like I managed a sports bar nightclub up in Lake Placid, and they would go based on capacity,
Yep.
even though the bottom bar was only used for special events and things like that. They would count that towards capacity, and the cost of those packages were rather expensive.
It's pretty expensive, for the season.
People always like, why don't you get the fight? Well, the
You know how much it would cost? Yeah, right. You have to charge everybody like $30.
Do you want to spend $20 for a Budweiser?
Exactly. I wonder if they're not negotiating because everybody kind of knew they weren't going to be spending time in their local bars for the season.
Yeah.
I bet you they made it back up on
home.
on
Sunday ticket. Or
on residential.
Yeah.
I bet you their residential shot up probably you think about it. There is a lot of bars, but when you're talking about every person that goes in there, everybody buys their own package.
They're making out more.
I'm pretty sure they're making, even though the price is much less for a residential person.
Yeah.
I think they're more than making up for it.
Oh, they are.
And that's probably why they're playing hardball, I guess. Like
those dirty
bastards. They didn't even say a word. We said we're gonna cancel the package. We're not gonna do it this year. All right, no problem.
Yeah.
Talk to you later.
Well, how was it there last night?
I was there only briefly, and it was after the 1:00 game, so it was it was pretty busy for food. But I don't think like I said, we can't put a lot of people in there.
Yeah.
Is it because they're playing the Jets games? Or
that was the early game, and yes, I'm sure that's why it wasn't that busy. Jets and Giants.
Anybody watch the Giants game?
Yeah.
First half was just. The second half, oh my God! I thought they were going to win. Except for the fact, for the last minute of the game, I'm screaming at the TV. Well, actually, I got so sick of it, I turned it off on my TV in the house, and I went in the backyard. I started smoking a cigar, and then I was like, oh. So I pull it up on my phone, and I start watching it on my phone, and I'm screaming like, "Take a shot! Take a shot!" Like at least every first down, take a shot. Then try to go for the first down, but they were just fighting for first downs. They weren't fighting for the end zone.
Wait, you're a Jets fan?
Giants.
Go Hawks.
So yeah, that was my Sunday, and then I went to
my first Sunday that I was able to watch football. I enjoy watching. Regardless who it is. I hate. We're being pretty harsh on Jets and Giants fans, but it's
Jets
nice.
Fans are the worst.
It's nice to be able to just sit and watch football.
Yeah,
even if it is the Jets and the Giants.
I'm a Jets fan.
I hate to say you can. With the technology today, and I'm not going to say what stream it was. I was able to stream
every game,
any game you want. You got to watch it on your phone.
Yep, it was phenomenal on my phone.
But yeah, the technology is so good. And
I'll never tell you that it was
you
Yahoo
pretty much
Sports,
can watch it right on
really
your phone. Which makes it easier. In terms of I'm a Steeler fan, so I want to watch them. They're not on.
Oh yeah, you're not local.
I'm not going to. Yeah, I'm not going to travel to some place where they. So, I was able to watch the whole game. And I don't even have that sophisticated or modern of a phone, but I'm able to actually watch the game.
I ended up going to Frogtoberfest
nice.
and watching the rest of the games.
Go where?
Frogtoberfest.
Frogtoberfest?
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
They had the that kind of music and whatever. Lederhosen.
You probably got the package.
And I had their harvest beer, not off the keg, but I had it in a cup, and they put like this sugar spice thing on top.
Like cinnamon and sugar?
There was something else I felt spicy in there, like maybe like clove or something.
Oh, all right.
It was like some kind of mixture.
I go to Starbucks for that, and it's fantastic.
I actually, I'm not going to lie, I liked it a little bit better off the keg. I don't like all the sugar and stuff on it. So I had to
I had you pegged for a sugar.
Nope.
Yeah.
Nope. I don't even like salt on the side of a margarita. Actually, I don't even like margarita. I'll take a shot of tequila. I don't really like margaritas.
I'm not a big fan.
Yeah, I'm not a mix. Or
tequila, really, for that matter.
Oh, really?
Yeah, tequila's tough.
See, I had a roommate, and whenever he would drink whiskey, he was sober, for the first couple shots. Then he hit a point where he stopped remembering stuff. He didn't act like he was drunk, but he acted like a completely different person. Where one day, it hit him as we were walking out the Ruck, and we were walking out the back of the Ruck, and we lived down the alley in Troy. And this girl comes up the stairs, and she's like, "Oh my God, it's you!" And he's like, "Hey!" Boom! And just bopped her right in the face, and she laid him out with the most manliest uppercut I've ever seen anybody do. And then when I talked to him the next day, he's like, "Why does my jaw hurt?" I was like, bro, I had to carry you home last night. You got knocked out by a girl going out of the back of the ruck. Yeah, and there was a Christmas.
Be careful. There was
Christmas. We were all sitting there. We'd do a couple shots before we go to bed, and we're at my friend's, and my other roommates. There was 3 of us. His mom invited us out to her house, and we were drinking beer. And then right before we go to bed, have a couple shots of whiskey, and then all of a sudden I hear. There's still wrapping paper, they do their presents at night, and there was wrapping paper all over the floor, and I wake up I was sleeping in the living room couch, somebody kicking the wrapping paper, and I look over, and it's my roommate, and I'm like, oh, what the hell is this guy doing? Then he goes into the kitchen, and I hear the refrigerator opening, closing, and I can hear cabinets opening, closing, and then all of a sudden I hear what, when you put a cup up to the door with the water, and you hear the trickling of the water into the cup? I start to hear that noise. I wake up the next morning, and I'm like...
That wasn't water.
Yeah, well, I wake up the next morning, I look at the refrigerator. There is no water dispenser on the refrigerator. So I'm thinking to myself, that's really weird. I wonder what happened. His mom starts cooking breakfast, and she's like, which one of you idiots spilled a drink inside the bread box?
Oh, wow.
And I look at my other roommate, I was like, dude, don't eat the toast.
Is your roommate the lead singer of the band?
No. It wasn't even part of it. I do a really good job of picking my friends.
All right.
You can ask Dave. I've almost been kicked out of his bar more times than I can remember because of friends.
It has happened, actually.
I've never been kicked out.
No, I'm not saying that you did.
I once had to call you because Lauren got kicked out of your bar.
Yep. It happens, you know. People make mistakes and they don't realize what's happening, and some people don't know that who knows who. It happens, there's always misunderstandings. You're dealing with a drug.
I never ever once sat there and said, "Do you know who I am? Do you know that?"
Yeah, it does happen.
Yeah.
Obviously, people do play that card, but you just got to be firm and nice to them.
So how are you feeling about that beer, Dave?
It has almost like a spiciness to it. I don't know what I would refer to that as, but it's almost got like a little spiciness. Not like a spiciness like a jalapeno pepper, but it's almost like that without the flavor of jalapenos.
Yeah. This capsaicin?
Yeah, that what it's called? Capsaicin? Yeah. Almost like there's a little capsaicin in there.
I'm pretty...
What is a capsaicin?
It's the stuff that
Scoville units.
That makes
the peppers
hot stuff hot, yeah.
Well, no, there's none of that.
Well, I know. I didn't think you were stripping ghost peppers and plopping them in there.
No, feel free, because I like that kind of thing.
But part of it is, some of the things that you put in there mimic the smells and flavors of other stuff. I'm not, I don't have great enough understanding, but I understand that some hops will give you different flavors,
such as
that are similar to other
apricot,
things. Yeah, that are
peach.
similar.
Yep.
Just because they probably fire the same receptors, and they act the same way on your palate, even though it's not the same food. They still taste similar.
Yeah. Since we normally do our favorite and bestseller, we already know that. What is it? Jasper is your Jasper or
Jasper's probably
necessary means.
That would be the number one.
Those two are right different.
I would say Jasper, just because we brew Jasper the most.
A lot, yeah.
That's
And what is Jasper?
It's an IPA.
It's
a good
Jasper?
Jasper is a double IPA, all Citra.
Okay.
Throughout the whole process.
Are you ever going to make it again? Or
yes, actually.
That's what I'm getting hit with a lot.
Yes, Jasper, I'm actually making it tomorrow. So
there you go. See, everyone out there, you ready? 21 days.
Yeah. About 3 weeks. Yeah, we just had a little low on Citra hops, but we're stocked back up. So.
I didn't realize that was double IPA. I thought it was just regular single IPA.
Double. Well, it's 7, 8.
Okay, so it's low.
It's like a low double.
Yeah.
Low double.
I think I think about our beer is the alcohol is hidden really well. I think it's a nice soft beer with the booze doesn't really show through in a lot of them.
For sure. Mm-hmm. Now, what's your heart and soul beer? Where's the beer that you put a lot of effort into, and
that you're proudest of? I would.
Well, I'm proud of all of them. I will say the beer that
that's like saying I love all my kids. Okay, come on.
I will say the beer that maybe I'm most proud of is No Couth. I was really hesitant to do an All Galaxy beer. This guy Alan, he was drilling me like, come on man, and so I finally was like, fine, I'm gonna do it, and it came out excellent.
Great.
Yeah,
Awesome.
It came out really good. I think it's probably one of our better.
Should have named it after
That's
him.
my favorite as well.
Probably one of our better beers. So
That and the vegan.
the vegan, yeah, the vegan's named after Alan.
The vegan's fire.
There you go.
Yeah.
No, it is Nelson.
Yeah. So I
Love
mean,
that
I would
Nelson.
probably say the one. I mean, we put, it's a team effort around, and we put a lot of effort in all of our beers. But probably, like I said, no Kuth is probably the one I'm most happy with.
Now, what would be what's your you think you're most proud of when you tell people you own Fidens, and they're going to say, "What beer should I try?"
Every week is a new one. So
Yeah.
Yeah, I knew that was coming from Steve.
every week.
It's really hard. Actually, what I just tried from the fermenter was right up there with it before it even hit some carbonation, and it's not even complete yet. But I'm a big fan of, I like that what we do is we tell you what hops are in there,
Yeah.
but we don't tell you what you're necessarily going to taste because it's subjective and everybody has their own experience with it,
For
which
sure.
is awesome. I'm a big fan. I've learned of, Nelson is really starting to win my heart from what Steve's been doing with that.
Is that the one that's in the fermenter right now?
No.
No, not in this case. That's the problem. Is that I like them all. I would say my answer is probably Lantern's Low.
Okay.
I liked a lot. I'm a big Simcoe fan, and that's in there. That's from our Tragically Hip series the music unfortunately has ceased. That one's probably my favorite, and as I get really excited about is honestly the lower ABV stuff that he makes, and the pale ale, the proper education that you started with. It's brings me back. I'm a Sierra Nevada pale ale is what got me crazy into beer 20, well, maybe not 20 years ago, but close to that.
Yeah.
But Noine, I mean, Noine is makes me laugh. I really enjoy it. And I love saying Noine.
Well, good thing you're on episode 9.
But that was the same thing, lower ABV, but it has a ton of flavor.
Yeah, what was funny about that beer is when people come up like, "Oh, we have this pale," they go, "Nah," and then Michael like, "Nah, you got it." And then all of a sudden, people are like, "When are you brewing Noine again? When are you brewing Noine again?" And it's become one of our more popular beers.
Yeah, outside of When's Jasper coming back or Eugene's Axe, Noine is the one that I tend to hear the most from the cars that are driving through is When's Noine coming back? When's Noine coming back? Because I think when our package at this moment is a 32-ounce crowler, so you're either going to share it with a friend or you're committing to two.
Yep.
Which I never complained about myself.
Not me at all.
With the lower ABV, I think with the Noine was the first one that came out that I think when we came out with that beer several months ago, it was the biggest surprise because people went into it not thinking they were going to like it or anticipating not liking it, and they were, I think, pleasantly surprised because it still had a ton of flavor for a lower ABV.
Awesome. I'm trying to think. What's your favorite beer that they've had? Dave.
We could skip this one, I think.
What's your favorite beer that you've had from them?
We've had 4 beers from here.
We've had 4.
What was the other one we had?
Hatchet.
Yeah,
That was
Hatchet.
probably that's of the ones I've had. That was
The
probably
first
my
one we had
favorite,
was really good. Hatchet was great.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think. I like Jasper. I like Necessary Means. I like Necessary Means by Necessary Means.
Yeah, same.
Yeah, I haven't had a beer here that I haven't liked.
Oh, thank you.
Do you guys ever is there a hop that you typically
Us
find yourself
personally,
shying away from?
that was going to be the next question I was going to ask you guys. If there was, what are your go-to hops, and then which ones do you try to stay away from? Me personally, I haven't come across a hop really that I haven't liked yet. Maybe what's it, Amaretto? Amaretto.
That's Alan's favorite hop.
Amaretto is
Not my favorite.
Alan loves that hop. He really does.
That's probably like one of my least favorites that I've noticed that happens to be in a lot of beers that I don't like. And then I have a weird way of speaking, so like Bavarian.
You got it now.
Bavarian. It's Bavarian.
Bavarian. Never mind.
I think I've learned it. Whatever.
Yeah.
What about you? Is there a particular hop that you don't like?
What is Natty Light hopped with what?
Yeah, I was just to say, what kind of hops is in Natty Light?
Because it needs to be in all.
I think it's top secret.
I realize this. I'm not an IPA drinker at all. I would drink strictly like a light beer or something like a stout or eat like an ale, like a an English ale, like a bitters. I don't even know if people don't even really know what that is, but I
it was
prefer
good.
something along those lines, like a Smittix, like a Bass. If you're looking to me for like a beer that I would like to sit and relax, like something like that.
Yeah,
like the bitter beers don't and then, oddly enough, bitters aren't bitter.
Yeah,
I found it's like it's just a good ale.
Yeah,
and that's what I enjoy.
And one of our very first episodes we ever did, we did an ale that was very close to an English bitter that Wolf's Hollow made called One Bag Short. That was really good.
Wow, great! That was
That was a really good beer. Yep.
Done that. That was purposely an English style ale.
They use English malts and
That for me is what I I prefer.
And that's what's cool about beer.
Yeah,
is because we can all like different styles of beer, but it's still beer.
Yep.
So it's like a common love.
And we knew we weren't going to be everyone's brewery, and we're not like not everybody likes IPAs. Not everybody likes hop forward ales.
Sure.
We weren't afraid of that going into this, which I think also plays into Fidens. I think it's business 101 is you don't want to necessarily target one audience. But we didn't shy away from that, and we're not in your face with advertisement, probably because we can't afford it. But also,
I don't think that's probably.
No, it's confirmed we cannot afford it. But it was also, we relied on word of mouth for a reason, because we hope the people that do come here are really enjoying it and are finding the product that they're seeking out. And we don't want to disappoint the people that don't like this style of beer or really like to see a variety of and the full spectrum of beers that are there. And we love that there's breweries like that. Yep. We frequent them, we enjoy them. But it wasn't necessarily what we had envisioned.
And it's not really my, we like to brew. I like to brew what I like to drink. Yeah. This is my style. And so I'm very passionate about that.
For sure.
Not that I'm not passionate about other styles, but this is what I like.
It's funny. I brought it up in our last podcast, our technically 2 podcasts later than this one's supposed to be. So in episode 11, we were with Whitman. I even said I was like, if there's 2 breweries I can pick that do IPAs right, it's Whitman's and Fidens. You two, the 2 groups, or the 2 breweries, phenomenal. I could pick Great Flats and Mad Jack do a great job with wits and wheat beers. Some of the best, And then I love the lager over at Frog Alley. So everybody does,
right.
The Vienna lager, that's quite excellent.
And and it's funny how every place has their own style. And we're talking about Wolf's Hollow, they tend to lean a lot of English style, right. Even their IPAs, and so it's really neat. We're very lucky and very blessed. And
that's what makes it cool, because people come here and they're like, they say, well, go try this place.
Yeah,
go try this place. And it's just word of mouth of other styles.
For sure.
I would like to personally. I love Unified.
Okay, yeah.
IPAs and sours.
Yeah.
They kill that.
So, and also that's another thing Frog Alley did. I like their sours. I've had, and don't get me wrong, Unified and Single Cut make great IPAs too, and great ales. But yeah, I've definitely been to. I haven't had any of their sours yet, but yeah, everyone has their own little niche.
Right.
I recently had some. What did we get? We got. Oh man, Frog Alley also did a good job with a porter.
You got the answer.
No,
yeah.
Well, I'm just saying. Both
we had the cherry wheat.
The cherry wheat, yeah,
which I kind of liked. I expected
that was surprising.
Not to like.
Yeah,
it was very. The cherry was not up front. It was just a hint of it. I expected it to be kind of tart, and it wasn't. It was like drinking kind of like a regular, what we would say traditional. I want to say the cherry wheat was like a wheat beer, but it wasn't heavily wheat.
Yeah,
it was more like a lager, and it tasted smooth and
it was good.
Yeah, I definitely enjoyed it.
I always get there a little bit early so I can set up and stuff, and no exception. I get to Frog Alley early, and they were canning the cherry wheat. So where if the canning machine messed up, they would have to throw the beer out. So as we're sitting there, they just keep handing us beers.
No top on the can, just a can full of beer.
Yeah.
Sure.
What are you gonna do? He's like, we hate throwing it out. And I'm like, hey, listen, I'll drink it.
Oh man,
well, I don't want to go to waste either. I understand.
I had to go to Hunter's and sober up.
Yeah, I'm sure that worked. Yep. Sure
I did. Equilibrium. I think it was Equilibrium. Who just recently released the key lime, or sea lime Equilibrium? Yeah, I had a sea lime, whatever ale it was, and then I ordered a bunch of food, and so I drank that one beer, and then I just ate a bunch of food, and then sat there for another hour talking to Scooter.
Oh, he was there.
Yeah, he was there.
See, now we're just talking about personal.
I know. But I'm just
I'm
like,
oh, how
you
was
guys
he?
aren't afraid of a niche either. This is perfect.
yeah.
I saw him yesterday, so I don't need to know how he was.
Well, how long ago did we do Frog Alley? It's the last time I seen him.
Last week, wasn't it?
2 weeks ago. Was it? No, Monday. When did we do Whitman? Wednesday?
Oh yeah, I'm not good with time.
No, never mind.
What's today? Monday. We did Whitman last
I thought it was
Wednesday,
Sunday.
and then the previous Wednesday, I think we did it. Yeah, I forget already. Wow.
Yeah. Whatever. Pretty soon we're gonna have a long hiatus coming up here. I'm going to Chicago. I'm gonna hit up Revolution, hit up Goose Island.
Nice.
Hit up a couple different restaurants out there. Do a little research. Maybe shoot some Instagram. I'm gonna hop in the gram, bro. And
I won't be there.
No, you won't. It'll just be me. And then I'm gonna have to quarantine for 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Or 10 days.
So do we set up the equipment in 2 different spots? So I'm away
if you
from
wanted
you?
to, we could do just me and you, or if, you wanted to go
a satellite
through your cell phone. I have a cell phone hookup right there.
Really?
So you can call. I can call you on my cell phone. We can do a podcast if you wanted.
Wow.
And I just did one with Nuzzy, and we tried some 3 Floyds. Yeah, you guys had 3 Floyds.
Mm-hmm.
Was it in the park? Gozer, it's a sour. We were talking about sours. Talking about a really good
Ghostbusters?
sour. Yes, we had a good Ghostbusters reference,
Yeah,
and
there's
a really good story to me in that
Key
podcast.
Master.
Yes, I was like, because it was a three. It's a Gozer sour or something like that. I was like, wait a second, as in the god from Ghostbusters 1. He's like, yes, and then we went back and forth on that. It was good. I wish you were there, man.
Yeah,
I never want to do another
Great movie.
podcast without you. Though,
Awesome.
by the way.
Speaking of movies, awesome movie that they're attempting to remake.
Are they really?
Yeah. Unfortunately, Harold Ramis has passed away, so obviously. But I had heard that.
Well, there's another Ghostbuster movie coming out, but I don't think it's a remake. It's a.
I don't know.
It's the kid from Stranger Things. He's related to somebody who maybe Harold Ramis' Egon's character or something like that. And the car is an abandoned someplace, and somehow these little kids become Ghostbusters. I don't know. They're doing like I said, a lot of if you same subject, Cobra Kai. Yeah, I watched Cobra Kai.
Scary, how they really took that movie and made
a series out of
the rest of his life after after that. It was good.
I didn't realize there was 3 movies.
Cool.
Well, I realized there's a lot more than 3 movies.
Doing that, but I think they're trying to do that with a lot of movies now. Trying to cash in on
if there was
the popularity of it.
We got to wrap this up, but if there was one 80s movie, TV show, or cartoon that you would like to see remade, what would
Transformers.
it be? Transformers. Well,
but it's got to be not the stupid Transformers that they did now, like the original ones. Unfortunately,
do you want it to be
Scatman
cartoon
Crothers
or real,
is dead.
Real action?
So he can't be Jazz anymore, but you got to have somebody like that doing it. Yeah, I was really on that, wasn't I? That's pretty scary.
Yeah, no, that was pretty good though. But I mean, do you want it to be?
They still have Optimus Prime voice and everything, so they can still use it and
Would you do live action or would you do cartoon?
Cartoon.
Okay. All right.
They already did the live action, and like I said, be wary. It was very disappointing.
Yeah. True.
That was my
Look
favorite
at G.I.
cartoon.
Joe. How horrible is that? Those
movies.
Movies.
Exactly. That was actually a good point because G.I. Joe, great cartoon.
Yeah.
The movie
GoBots where they shoot
was
lasers out their
freaking
fingers.
Terrible. Was terrible. The movie was the G.I. Joe movies were just awful.
Yeah,
I think mine would be Stand By Me.
I'd
like to see that. I think they could probably pull that off.
Yeah.
River Phoenix is gone.
Well,
throwing that out there.
I mean, I think he'd be a little old for the role.
And what's his name's not fat anymore.
No, and he's married to Rebecca Romaine. I mean, Jesus, talking about moving up in the world.
You could probably
went
just
from the
grab
fat
cast
kid
from
to
Stranger Things.
dating Rebecca Romaine.
Yeah. What about you?
I don't even know. Bloodsport.
There you go with Van Damme.
Van Damme. Bloodsport. There we go.
What about you, Alan?
Alan, do you watch movies?
No.
What about your childhood cartoon? If you could have it remade into a movie.
Well, it did get remade into a movie. It was Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
There you go.
And
it probably wasn't that great.
No, well, the original,
awesome,
the original one.
Vanilla Ice
that
jumped
first
in
one.
Oh, that was the second one.
See,
Yeah, the first
that's
one.
way,
The first
that's
one
way
was real
back.
good. The first one was real good.
That's what you're talking. That's way back.
Yeah. Not these new ones that they did, but
Thank
the ones
you.
back
Okay,
then.
Aaron.
I'm
was
talking
Casey-
about the OG ones.
Yeah, okay. all
Was
right.
Casey Jones in the first one?
No, he was, briefly.
Yeah, he was in
Yeah.
it. He was in
Briefly.
it.
Yeah.
Not briefly, but he was more in it in the second one.
bad.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
thought Casey Jones.
He was
I mean,
bad.
come on, please.
The second one where Raphael gets all beat up and he spends like months in a bathtub trying to, I don't know.
I mean, I'm huge into X-Men too, but
There you go.
the Turtles,
They've,
man.
yeah, they've
Yeah,
already.
I love the original cartoon
And
on
the
like
video
Saturday
games.
morning.
Yes.
Yes, like
And
the
the
original
video games.
cartoon, like
if I
those
had,
were awesome.
if I had to choose a childhood cartoon that we can turn into a movie, or even a movie that could be remade, I didn't even think about that. But if I was to do one, I would do a live action Thundercats. I think that'd be pretty cool. I could be wrong.
What about All Stars? You remember that one?
No.
That was,
No,
It was like it was probably a misguided idea, but it
All
was
Stars.
Yeah, I
It
don't
was
remember that one.
Michael Jordan was one of them. Bo Jackson, Wayne Gretzky.
It was
They
a
were-
cartoon?
They were superheroes. I mean,
Oh,
nobody,
no, I don't remember
Nobody
this.
talks about this show. And
I never
There's
even
probably
heard
a
it
good
was-
reason for that.
Yeah, I'm telling you, it was brilliant. But
I mean-
Wayne Gretzky probably had the best power with the hockey stick with shooting pucks. But yeah, All Stars. I think it was called All Stars, is what it was. And Bo Jackson could do anything. So,
Yeah.
yeah, make that, please.
There's a lot of great cartoons. Like I said, GoBots was great. Mask. Anybody remember Mask?
Definitely.
Yeah.
Yep. Yep. They fly the flying Camaro.
Yes.
Yeah.
All the cars, I think, right? They all.
Well, they all look different. The one was like a boat. The one was like
Yeah,
a Jeep. Like
yep.
a Jeep that was a boat.
All right. Well, we're going to wrap up this episode. We had a great time with you guys.
Cartoons.
What's that?
Talking cartoons.
Oh yeah, why not?
I mean, we could go into like 100 cartoons if we really. That's
Cat
what this is
Dog.
about.
Yeah, Heathcliff.
You know, All Stars. The best one was the wrestling.
Danger Mouse.
YouTube All Stars.
The wrestling. What was the
WWF,
The WWF,
yeah.
the old one with like all the old wrestlers.
Talk about
you guys,
fever hallucinations. I had
you know, like really old ones. Tito Santana was still in it. You know,
Junkyard Dog.
Junkyard Dog.
I just
Roddy
had a
Piper.
I just had a personal message from Bushwhacker Luke
Oh, there you go.
that sent me a cameo. It was fantastic.
Awesome.
You know, those are the guys that like pump their arms like.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yep.
Bushwhackers.
Yep. What's his name was from Glens Falls?
Hacksaw
Hacksaw
Jim
Jim
Duggan.
Hacksaw Jim Duggan.
Isn't that where the Wrestling Hall of Fame is too? I heard.
That I-
No, that's in Oneida, New York, I believe, out by Turning Stone.
Okay.
Weird, I would know that.
Yeah.
No idea if I know that, but yeah, I'm pretty sure it is.
I don't know. All right, so let's wrap this one up. Alan, thank you so much for being on here. Steve,
Thank you.
Mike, I can't.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you guys enough for having us on here. To all the listeners that are listening, thank you for drinking with us, and until next time.